Hey everybody, this is Robert Jeffries for Keep It Moving Cruising. Listen guys, we're getting ready to enter into the cruising season. Dog! Listen, we're going to talk about 3 important things that you need to have on a cruise. Alright? Let me tell you why we're going to talk about this. We had an incident with like 2 or 3 people, and one of them is a family who had the grandparents had the children, and they didn't have passports. The grandmother got sick, and the kids couldn't go home because they didn't have passports. So now they had to get a passport for the kids to go home. Okay? There was another couple who had an accident in Cozumel, Mexico, and they didn't have passports. So beside the accident, they didn't have passports to get back to the United States. So today, we're going to go through the 3 things that you definitely need to get back to the United States. All right? Be right back with that and let you know what you're going to need. M in the house. K-I-M in the house. Let's shout it out. Let's go cruising. Yes, baby. This is K-I-M. All right, guys. We're back. We're going to talk about the 3 things that we needed. Number 1 thing you need is to get your birth certificate. Not the one with your feet on it that the doctor gave your mama when they slapped you. You need the one from Vital Statistics. Okay? With the raised seal on it, yeah, it makes a difference. You can go with that on a closed loop cruise. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. The second thing you need a valid ID from a state that you live in. All right? Preferably your ID or your driver's license. By the way, starting in May 2025, you will need the real deal ID. That's what I call it, but it's the real ID. We're going to show you some examples of that, okay? Now, this real ID is very important because in 2025, you need to enter into any federal building, fly on a plane or anything. I'm going to show you an example of that. Right now. All right. Y'all saw the example of that. Now, you need that real ID. And the third thing, guys, get a passport. The passport doesn't cost that much. All right? Let's say the passport, now I'm going to give you an example of how much it costs in a moment. But let's say if it costs $200. A passport is good for 10 years, guys. 10 years. Divide 10 into 200. Okay, that's $20 for every year to have a passport, to have access to the world. And you can't leave, really, the United States and go to another country without a passport. For $20, that gets you the advantage to the whole world. All right? So now, we talked about the 3 things. Birth certificate. We talked about the driver's license, the real deal ID. And we talked about the passport. And I showed you examples of all of those, except for the birth certificate. I showed you an example of the real deal and why the real deal ID is really important. And the passport to get you back in the United States. All right, guys, cruising season's upon us. Let's get it going. Even if you go on a land-based cruise, you need that passport. All right, guys, this is Robert Jeffries from Keep It Moving Cruising. Let's get it on. Hey, let's do this, dog, and keep it cruising. All right, if you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up. Share and subscribe. All right, guys, I'll be back with you more and more because it's time to keep it moving.